And welcome back. Here's what nobody tells you about the difficult patients that you have in your practice right now. And the important point is this. It's that they're actually your biggest opportunity for truly exponential growth inside your practice, but only if you handle them with a system like what I've developed after working with over 300 independent chiropractors across North America and in Canada. Now, most doctors lose sleep over challenging patients. It's very common, but I'm going to show you exactly how to transform these patients, these situations into real patient loyalty gold mines, and why the way you're probably handling them right now is costing you probably 5 figures in annual revenue you don't even realize you're leaving on the table. I'm Dr. Chris Tomshack, and in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 3 battle-tested strategies that'll help you turn your most demanding patients into raving fans and eliminate the stress that's that's burning you out, and create instead a practice where difficult conversations actually strengthen your patient relationships instead of draining your energy. So let me paint you a picture. It's let's just say it's Tuesday afternoon. You've got a patient who's upset about their bill, and they feel you charge too much, or your x-rays are costing, whatever the case may be. And they're questioning your treatment plan, and they're frankly making your front desk staff miserable. Your stomach knots every time you see their name on the schedule, as does your front desk, so your CA. Now, does that sound familiar? Of course it does. So here's what I consistently see in practices that struggle with this very same issue. It's the reactive instead of strategic or being proactive. They wait for the explosion, they wait for the objections, and then scramble to put out fires. But here's the thing. After analyzing thousands of these situations, I've discovered a framework for handling difficult conversations with these types of patients before they ever happen. And it's transformed how chiropractors and their team handle every challenging interaction that comes up in their clinic moving forward. The principle is simple, but it's extraordinarily powerful. It's difficult clients aren't born during the conflict. They're created in the gap between what they expected and what they experienced inside your office. So picture this very typical scenario. A patient comes in expecting one price, then they get hit with a different number at checkout or when they're rescheduling, and suddenly you've got a problem that didn't need to ever exist. So in my experience with practices generating anywhere from 500,000 to multi-millions annually, the ones who never have pricing or fee schedule conflicts, they're not charging on the lower end for their services. They're crystal clear about expectations literally from day one. And here's how you apply this same approach starting tomorrow morning if you so desire. First, create what a financial clarity conversation within the first patient interaction can look like. So before any treatment begins, walk this new patient through exactly what things cost, what insurance typically will cover, and what their realistic out-of-pocket looks like. Yes, you have to estimate. It's your best estimate. So don't be vague. It shouldn't be a vague estimate. It should be real numbers based upon your treatment program. Now, second, document everything in writing and have patients initial their understanding. This isn't about legal protection, not at all. It's about mutual clarity. And when you have the mutual clarity, that's what eliminates confusion before it ever sets in. Now, third, this is where most practices completely miss the boat. Offer them a cash discount option up front, right away, through a compliant program that actually saves them money, makes the care affordable. So when patients see you're actively working to reduce their out-of-pocket expenses, difficult conversations about money virtually disappear. But here's what most chiropractors don't realize that about that third strategy that makes it important, and it's costing them patient trust in ways you really can't even measure. When you wait until a patient complains about costs to mention discounts or payment options, they immediately think one thing: hey, you could have told me this before, but you didn't. And that single thought destroys trust faster than pretty much anything else. Now they start wondering what else you're not telling them, and then their mind races. So what other options you're keeping secret? But when you lead with cost-saving solutions before they ever even ask, you flip the entire dynamic at the get-go. So you're no longer a provider trying to maximize revenue in their eyes. You're a partner trying to maximize their health within their particular budget. That positioning, and that's all it is, it's positioning, it is worth its weight in gold, and it's why practice is using compliant cash discount programs from day one with brand new patients. They see dramatically fewer billing conflicts and significant higher patient retention. In other words, much better Google reviews and no single one stars. Now, the second strategy I've developed is what I call complaint conversion protocol. Now, this is probably counterintuitive to you, but complaints are often actually buying signals, to use common terminology, in disguise. Now, every time a patient voices frustration, they're telling you exactly what they need to become a loyal long-term patient of yours. So the doctors I work with who master this see patient retention rates jump much higher. In other words, patients actually not just complete, but also finish their treatment program. So here is the framework for your mind. When someone complains, your first response should never be defensive. Instead, use this exact phrase that's diffused hundreds of tense situations. And this is how it goes. I really appreciate you bringing this to my attention. Tell me more about what you're experiencing. And then you be quiet and you listen so you can understand. Those two sentences do something truly magical. They shift you from an adversary to an ally instantly when you take the time to deliver it and deliver it correctly with empathy and compassion. Now, here's where it gets interesting. After they explain, repeat back what you heard using their exact words. Don't paraphrase, use their exact words. This proves you're listening, not just waiting to talk. Then, and this is the critical point, ask this follow-up question. What would make this right for you? 9 times out of 10, what they ask for is less than what you would have offered in panic mode or reactive mode. So finally then, deliver on whatever solution you agree to, and follow up 3 days later to ensure they're satisfied with what's been taking place. This follow-up discussion is where average practices become exceptional ones, because it shows you really care so much more, well beyond the complaint, but you care about that person as a human being, as an individual, as somebody with needs. But there's a third element to handling difficult clients that ties everything together, and it's the place that separates practices that survive from practices that absolutely dominate their local market. And that third strategy is real simple. It's called prevention architecture. This is about building systems that stop difficult situations before they ever start, before they're birthed. I consistently see practices that implement this. When they implement this, they reduce their problem patient scenarios by 70, 80, 90% or more within just 90 days. And it's all because of more transparent communication. So the key insight: most difficult patient situations stem from 3 core issues. It's money confusion, it's treatment expectation gaps, or it's communication breakdowns. You pick it, it's going to be one of those 3. And when you systematically address all 3 up front at the beginning, you've essentially eliminated the breeding ground for conflict. Makes your practice life so much easier, makes your team's life so much easier. So here's your action plan. First, audit every single patient touch point in your practice. And then ask your team where confusion could possibly creep in. Is it, your front desk CA scripts, treatment explanations, billing processes, reviewing insurance coverage, etc.? I mean, everything. And then second, create standardized language your entire team uses so patients hear consistent messages regardless of who they talk to. This is critically important. Yes, this is something you actually have to train your team with on a consistent basis. And then third, implement a compliant cash discount program that removes the number one source of patient friction inside all practices, which is unexpected costs. So when patients know they're getting the best possible price or fee and you're helping them save money, trust skyrockets between your practice and your patients, and complaints plummet. 5-star reviews escalate. So now if you're sitting there thinking, hey, this sounds great, but wondering how to actually implement a compliant cash discount program without falling foul of regulations or spending weeks trying to figure out the legal maze, I've got something that'll shortcut the entire process for you. I've already done all the heavy lifting on this particular subject, and I want to hand you a completely free, fully compliant solution that you can implement in your practice starting this week if you so care to choose to do so. So head over to apexlongevity.com now and grab the free guide that we've written for you. Inside, I'll show you exactly how to offer legitimate cash discounts to your patients and do it the correct way. Eliminate all these pricing objections before they start and position yourself as the chiropractor in the community who actually cares about keeping care affordable, cares about people, cares about the patients. This isn't theory. This is the exact system I've used to help thousands of independent chiropractors transform their patient relationships and their bottom lines. So if you're ready to stop dreading difficult conversations with some of your patients and start turning them into an extraordinarily competitive advantage, well, apexlongevity.com is your next step. Let's make your practice, though, the one that patients become raving fans about instead of ones they complain about. I hope that you gained some valuable insight here, and I wish you a fantastic day. Take care.